Another day goes by in Minecraft, and our last two uploads have not been a portal. We're officially over with all those portals. We're uploading one a day. You know, we don't need any more hidden portals in here, so we'll go off and find something else to do. I lied. This is a portal. I mean, you probably know that because it's the video title and the thumbnail. So yeah, welcome to the 10x10 portal. It's actually slightly faster than the 9x9 portal because of how I changed the redstone with this bit here. Although it's basically the same redstone, it's just two sets of honey and slime. I could make it one higher and then I'd have to start doing funky stuff. But 10x10 I think is a pretty nice size to end up at. And I've got it triggered with these pressure plates using droppers and a hopper. But same working as before again for anyone who hasn't seen. We have one dispenser with water bucket, and that gets set off twice by two observers, so the redstone triggers this one, then its repeater afterwards triggers this one, they both trigger this redstone, so the water goes out, comes back. Then we use pistons to pull the dispensers away. And that's because otherwise dispensers get pulled by the blocks that push out at the top with honey and slime. And that'll mean they go back to this block here, which is a problem, so I found it was easier to just make them go away. And then we just use two pistons for each pillar of slime and honey attached to blocks at the front to push them out. And then we just have blocks at the bottom that get pushed up with pistons. And that's how we hide our portal away. And then we also have a torch here next to this dispenser, because that means when this dispenser with flint and steel comes back up, it gets powered, and that means that it puts out the portal by lighting it with the flint and steel. So there we go, if we look behind here, the portal is actually gone, and that's why we can push these blocks out, because otherwise we couldn't. And then it comes back, so it just stops the noise of the portal, stops mobs coming through, and makes it hidden. And then the portal can't relight because there's blocks in it, so you could have, if someone tried to go through your portal, they'd end up somewhere else. So what resources do you need? Well, we need 52 redstone, 9 torches, 17 repeaters, 52 sticky pistons. That was a complete coincidence, it's the same as the redstone, but hey. 45 slime, 45 honey blocks, 2 dispensers, a flint and steel, water bucket, and 73 obsidian, so a stack of 9. And that's partly for decoration between the dispensers. We have obsidian to cover up the back, and we also use it here to power these pistons because it needs to be obsidian but getting pulled by these honey and slime blocks. Same with this stuff with redstone on it. Okay, and I forgot, but you need 2 observers as well for the water dispenser. And you also need a target block. And finally a slab. So the first thing you gotta do is you just gotta build a portal that's 10 blocks high, so that means that from your corner block you go 10 blocks up, then another corner block, so really the portal's 12 blocks high, but it's just the inside is 10x10. So because I'm a genius, I've done a black background, which means you can't see the portal, but you can see where the corners are with these red blocks here. You know, there you go, I swear there is actually a portal here. In terms of space, it only goes to the edges of the portal, so you don't have to add any blocks on the side, but you do need 2 blocks underneath. You need 1 block of space above the top of the portal for some redstone, and you also need 4 blocks of space going backwards from the portal as well. So the first thing we're going to do is the pistons, so we just go place blocks at the bottom obsidian of the portal on each side, and that's because we do pistons all along the front that push up some blocks, and then behind those blocks we do pistons on each side. Now we're going to do a block above these pistons, dispensers aiming to the front, then we destroy those blocks so the pistons can get them. Now we're going to put obsidian between these dispensers, and also obsidian behind the dispensers and along all of that as well, and that's because it's used for redstone later. Now behind dispensers we'll go 1 block further back, like that, and then we're going to do 2 pistons and just do a line of them, 2 blocks high, along the entire width of the gap of the portal. Alright, now we're going to go an extra 5 blocks up above these pistons, so that's 5, and do another set of 2 pistons, all along the width of it like that. And we're also going to destroy the blocks we placed under the pistons, because you don't need them. Now you're going to alternate between slime and honey blocks, so you do 5 blocks high, every other block, slime, and then when you get to the edge you do 5 blocks high, every other block, honey, Now at the top we do the opposite. Wherever there's slime, we do 4 blocks of honey. So it's only 4 this time. And then 4 blocks of slime in the gaps. So for your input, you go to the bottom right, and next to this piston, we do a block underneath, and we destroy the blocks we did in the corner of our portal. Then you do a block across, and there's this redstone. Then we do a block aiming sideways with repeater going into a block. Then blocks underneath all these pistons to the side like this, until you get to the last piston, and you do redstone all of those. Then next to the last piston, we do a repeater, and have just realised you can save redstone by just putting a block between this redstone and that repeater. Even though it's not aiming at it, it will actually power it, because it looks like it's aiming at pistons and does power them, but the redstone actually aims sort of the direction the last redstone is at, so over there. On the other side of this repeater, we do block, then a block with redstone next to this final piston, so they'll all get powered now. Now for the water dispenser, we do a block coming from the first redstone we did with a repeater on 3 ticks next to this piston. And I just realised I forgot these in the resources, so I'm going to have to edit this back in the resources section. So you've seen that, but for me, it's really annoying. Anyway, back to the tutorial. Okay, and I forgot, but you need 2 observers as well for the water dispenser. Okay, so above this redstone and above the repeater, we place observers, and then we place redstone on top of that observer to power the water dispenser. Next, on the other side of this repeater, we do a block, then a block with redstone, then we do another block, then a block to the side, a repeater facing sideways on its full delay, going into a block. Then we do another repeater going back towards the front with a full tick repeater. That goes into a block, and then we also do, from the first block next to the observers, next to the piston, a block with a repeater on 3 ticks. Now on the other side of this block, next to the piston, there's going to be a torch. Then there's also going to be a torch to the side. Then we go underneath and across from that torch with blocks. And we do that all the way until the next piston, put a block next to it, and we just do redstone along that, like so. Now going back to the corner with the observers, we do a torch going to a block, then another torch going into a block. Now to power the first line of pistons, we go to our obsidian underneath the slime, and we place a block behind it like that, and do that all the way across. Then we miss this first block here, but we do the rest, just blocks going across. And also forgot this target block in the resources. Fun times. And then when we get to the other side to the observers, we just do a target block, 1 block up in the air like that. At the end of this, at the front of this set of blocks, we do repeaters on 2 ticks like this, the whole way along. Then redstone along the back like that. And then we power them with a torch on this block. So that's off by default. Then we go to the other side, and the obsidian the repeater goes into, we do a torch, then a block aiming to the back with a repeater, powered by that, going into a block with a torch, then blocks, and we do blocks going all the way across, except when we get to the last 2. And I forgot this slab in the resources. I'm a professional. And here we use our slab, we pull it next to the bottom piston, like that, with redstone, and then a block next to it, and that's because this redstone powers this block, even though it looks like it's aiming at this piston. Because Bedrock Edition. And the slab stops it powering the piston underneath, which we don't want. Okay, so that's the bottom pistons, now we have to power the top pistons. To do that, we go above the top of our torch tower, and we do a block. This is the observer side. We do redstone on those. Then we do another 2 blocks going up of obsidian, like that. We do redstone on the first one, torch on the second one, then another obsidian above that torch, then another torch going into another obsidian to stop it getting pulled by the slime. Then we do a block diagonally above that obsidian to the back, redstone on both those. Then above this honey and slime, we just do obsidian like this, and redstone along all of that. And then to power these bottom pistons, we go to our torch that's off, we put an obsidian next to the honey or slime. Then we do a repeater on 3 ticks, going into a block with a block on the other side, and then blocks all along these pistons like this, with redstone on them. Like that. And finally, next to the dispenser on the other side to the observers, we do a redstone torch on the obsidian of the portal next to it to power it when it comes back up to dispense flint and steel. So we're just going to test this works how we want first before putting everything in, and it might actually help to destroy these blocks above these pistons so that we can see everything better. So we'll put 2 blocks in this dispenser. I guess we can put any amount, just check that 2 of them have come out. And that's just to make sure the water would come out fine, because otherwise you might flood your redstone. Then we're also going to put some blocks in the fire charge dispenser. Not a day goes by where I don't call a flint and steel a fire charge. It charges the portal with fire, you know, I'm not wrong. So we'll put some in that one as well to make sure one of them comes out. And then we'll also make sure that all the honey and slime comes out at the same time, because if you put blocks on it, it will get stuck if that happens, but if you don't, it will just go back to how it was and you can change the repeaters that you did wrong. So our input is this bottom right next to the observers. We can just use a lever to power that, and we're just making sure everything goes off correctly. So make sure these go off at the right time together. So we got 2 items out of the water dispenser. These did go off together and dispensers did go down. If we turn it off, they did go back together and then dispensers came back up. I don't know if we got an item out of this one. I mean, we should have, because the torch is there, so, you know, it's working fine, trust me. Right, so now we've verified that works, we can go to our dispenser on the observer side and put in a water bucket. We can go to dispenser on the other side and put in a flint and steel. Might be worth filling all of these so that it runs out the least, because this will get used up as you use it. And then we can fill in all of our blocks. So on top of the bottom pistons here, and on all the honey and slime. And now when we pull the lever, should come out, so you'd have your like floor here, and your wall around the sides like this. And there's a hidden portal. So when we turn it off, it should light up. There we go. And if you want to do it like I did at the start, you just get some droppers, and they have to be droppers, dispensers didn't work for me. So you do a dropper aiming upwards, a dropper aiming to the side, then a hopper going into the bottom dropper, then you do a comparator coming out of the top dropper on top of the hopper. It could actually go out any side of this dropper, it doesn't really matter. That goes into a redstone repeater like this, and that inputs into the door. And then you also do a block with a repeater going into that dropper. It can also go from the side like this. And if you power that with a button or a pressure plate, just anything that's temporary, then you can now, I forgot to put an item in. So yeah, we need to, in the bottom dropper, just put any random item. So I've put a button. And then when we press this button and power it, it should toggle between being on and being off. So that's if you don't want to use a lever. If you just use a lever, you just line up the redstone to this bottom redstone here, and the whole thing will work. Alright, hope you enjoyed. I've been Died, and I'll see you in the next one. You can also check out the description for a world download with this stuff. They can be structures or just the world. And I've also got a Patreon if you want to throw money at my dumb face. Adios.